Welcome, everybody. This is Pigskin Paisanos. I'm Paul.
This is G-Man.
And we are going to talk about Week 1 matchups today. We're going over the Monday games, and the first game we're going to go over is the Denver Broncos at the Oakland Raiders. So we're going to start off with Denver now for your starts and sits of this week. So the first start, we're gonna talk about the former Ravens quarterback, Joe Flacco. So Joe Flacco, not a sexy pick, but for if you're in a 2-quarterback league, they are playing a pretty bad team in Oakland. So you want to consider starting Flacco as your QB2.
Yeah.
Right, Garrett? So, but if you're in a QB1 league, which many of you are, we would definitely sit Flacco. Just too much history of him just not being that good. And you know, new offense, a new team, so wait and see with Joe Flacco. The second start we would do is Phillip Lindsay. So Phillip Lindsay would be an RB2 in your lineup. Lindsay killed it last year.
Yeah.
Was
undrafted free agent rookie. Yeah.
Right.
Really good.
Undrafted free agent rookie, killed it, and so you're definitely starting him and his other pal Freeman. You want to consider him as a flex.
Yeah,
right?
because you know there's a lot of talks of like a possibility of a timeshare, and you know they did draft Royce Freeman from Oregon round 3 last year. He's got really good talent, but like you know it's still Phillip Lindsay's job probably.
Yeah.
But Freeman, you know they talked about, like I said, increasing his workload. So you know if you think that this is a matchup where the Broncos could just totally like run all over the Raiders, then I think both guys could definitely provide value, especially in a PPR half point.
Exactly. And so guys, you know, you want to consider game script. I mean, odds are Denver's going to be up in this game, which means, as we said, Lindsay and Freeman are both pretty solid plays here. And then on top of that, we're going to go into Denver's defense. So Denver's defense, you definitely want to start in this game. Oakland looks like a mess offensively, at least in my opinion. You know, Antonio Brown is not there anymore. Denver can stack the box against Josh Jacobs and maybe just focus on different wideouts, and they're gonna rush Carr like crazy.
Yeah.
So Denver's a good.
Yeah,
it
really
defense.
Stinks, you know, now that Brown's gone, because he absolutely would have opened up the field. But now, you know, Tyrell Williams kind of has that label of being like, you know, good but a little one-dimensional. He's just your like down the field player.
Yeah.
Hunter Renfrow, rookie out of Clemson, you know, could be okay, but. You know, as Paul said, I think this might be a matchup. Denver is a pretty good defense. They might be able to actually really control the what seems to be possibly a limited offense.
Yeah.
For the Oakland Raiders at this point.
Yeah, for sure. So guys, you're definitely, if Denver is on the waiver wire, scoop them up. They're a good team to stream and a good team to just have all year. I mean, they've been a solid defense for years.
Von Miller, Bradley Chubb.
Yeah, they're just stacked. So anyway, also for your sits, well,
let's get into the wide receivers too.
Actually, yeah. So before we mention sits, you want to start Emmanuel Sanders and Courtland Sutton.
Yeah.
And so Sanders we view here as a wide receiver 2 or 3. And then Sutton is more of like a flex play.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy too. Like when you think about how late in the season Emmanuel Sanders like ruptured or whatever, tore his Achilles, and like there's been, you know, talk all off season how like he's already back at camp and practice and like is doing so well, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought maybe Cooper Kupp would have to take time, but as we're recording today, he had a pretty good game. So who knows? Like Emmanuel Sanders, if the talk is actually accurate, he could maybe pick up right where he left off last year, where he was having a really good year.
He was killing it before his injury.
Yeah.
He was looking like a really good play. And so most of you guys probably drafted Sanders late in your draft because of his injury history and just the uncertainty with Denver's offense this year. So
and I kind of like what Courtland Sutton, because like, you know, Flacco maybe doesn't have the exact same arm that he used to, but if he can have at least like somewhat of that arm that he used to, I do think with Courtland Sutton's skill set and the routes he likes to run, he's one of the more talented rookies that got taken in the 2018 draft. SMU, like
massive
guy,
right?
really
huge,
big dude,
humongous.
So you know this could be a good pairing for him, you know, better than what with Case Keenum last year.
For sure, yeah. So So, guys, those are our starts for Denver. Our sits would be the only one to really mention here is Noah Fant, the rookie Fant or Fant,
yeah,
the rookie
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not Wisconsin, Iowa.
Iowa,
Yeah.
right.
Him and T.J. Hawkinson.
Him and Hawkinson, yeah. So Fant, look, guys, Fant, it would be risky to start him in week 1. Rookie tight ends usually don't do well in fantasy their first year out.
That's an old cliche.
Yeah. But Fant is a very good guy to draft in your league and just stash him and see what happens. We know that Joe Flacco has a history of favoring tight ends.
He's definitely one of the quarterbacks that has like a really high track record of like being a quarterback that has the highest percentage of like targeting tight ends. So as the season goes on, could be a great matchup for Fant.
And we also saw I think his name was it John Heuerman or something?
Oh yeah,
the tight end last year had some random huge games. So you can see how sometimes you have a tight end that you might not really think about, and you have a quarterback that just needs that safety blanket, and they have some big games. But Noah Fant is a big-time talent, so if you guys ever want to draft and stash someone, he's your guy. So let's move on to Oakland.
Yeah.
So we're not going to talk about a lot about the whole news, but Brown is gone. AB is gone.
Yeah.
And so now you have targets that are going to free up.
Yeah.
But you also have a lot of issues going on now. I mean, in my opinion, you have to downgrade everyone on Oakland's offense because Brown would have opened up the field for so many guys.
Yeah.
So we could talk first about Carr. So the quarterback, for Oakland, basically with Derek Carr, we said that we would sit Derek Carr.
I think so.
Yeah.
Could he have a decent game because he's playing it safe, throwing those little short dink and dump passes to like Jalen Richard.
Yeah, I mean, Carr's had
Waller.
games where he's had
it's not
random.
bad per se, but it's just like the matchup, it's tough.
You're facing a good defense.
They've had to deal with all that drama, which you got to imagine is, mentally affecting the team.
For sure.
It's got to be.
For sure.
In some way.
Yeah, there's so much drama around Oakland right now that it's just, we can see Oakland just having a tank game where the Broncos just run away with this. I really think the Broncos are going to run away with this game. And so really the only possibility you're starting Carr is if you don't have a quarterback and you're hoping that in garbage time he just throws a touchdown or two, really. But Carr, we are definitely sitting on this one. Since we're mentioning sits, let's mention also Hunter Renfrow. Wenfro or Renfro?
Renfro.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister. Okay, so I'm gonna let you say his name from now on.
At Clemson. Hunter Renfro.
Yeah. So a guy too, kind of just kind of like Fant, like a guy that you want to draft and stash. Who knows who Carr favors in this offense now?
He's the slot receiver, so he could get targets.
Right. So usually with teams like this, they always target or the safety blanket is always either the slot receiver or a tight end or someone that's always crossing over the field, right?
Yeah.
So someone like that.
Drag routes. Slants.
Yeah. So a guy to draft and stash maybe. For your starts for Oakland, you're going with Josh Jacobs, the rookie. A stud running back. He should get a good amount of touches this year.
Yeah.
And so
it's interesting though because when he was in college, he split time with Damian Harris, who the Patriots drafted, and a lot of people pointed out that like Josh Jacobs at his time in Alabama was just never given a full workload. So we could see same college with Kenyan Drake, where like the skill set's there, but they were never really utilized as the workhorse. So I'm curious to see. Obviously, you still start him because he's got the talent, he can catch, but I'm just
a little time
curious
share
to see how the season long goes with him because he's never shown you to be the workhorse, but I think they drafted him with the thought to be the workhorse. So we'll see. Just because the guy's never done it doesn't mean he can't.
Yeah,
but it's interesting.
Yeah, so the only real guy that could eat in his timeshare is Jalen
Richard.
Yeah. So he's a guy where last year Derek Carr
How about
would.
Doug Martin? No, I'm kidding.
No. So he's a guy where last year we saw the Raiders were always down. Derek Carr would just lean on him because he's a pass catching back.
A lot of receptions.
And he had some games where he did pretty well actually. So they're probably going to be behind in this game. So you're starting Mr. Jalen Richard.
Probably is a flex play.
Yeah,
if you want
a decent flex play, a sleeper pick for us. Also, another sleeper, Darren Waller, right? Darren Waller's his name.
Yep.
Darren Waller. So because Brown is gone now, again, these targets open up. So Waller could be a potential, maybe breakout tight end this year because we saw how Jared Cook was in this offense last year.
Yeah.
Derek Carr favored him big time,
Yep.
and that. So who knows? Waller is a guy too. You can draft and stash if you have a better tight end. If you don't have a better tight end, you can start Waller and see what happens.
Yeah, because it's interesting when that HBO Hard Knocks that they did, like they asked all the guys on the team, like, who surprised you the most all camp and whatever. So many people said Darren Waller has. And then there's another famous quote John Gruden had during one of the, I think might have been the last episode on Hard Knocks, and he said this team's offense runs through the tight end.
Yeah.
So you hear all the players saying Darren Waller's been, the most impressive. He had some good preseason moments. You hear the comment they want to run the offense through the tight end, just like Paul said with Jared Cook last year. As much as we talk about how there's the cliche that rookie tight ends don't always immediately pop off, he could be, the exception to the rule.
For sure.
Especially with Brown gone.
For sure.
Especially.
For sure. And also, as of yesterday, I picked up Waller on my waiver. He was only owned in 36% of Yahoo leagues. So you might be able to still snag him.
Yeah, I think people are going to start to get aware of it,
Yeah, so maybe, guys, this is, right now, it's Sunday right now. The game's tomorrow. So if Darren Waller is on the waiver wire, pick him up and see what happens. He's definitely a good guy to be a sleeper. And the last start we have is Tyrell Williams, maybe the number one consensus number one wideout. So Tyrell, former Charger, has that kind of like a big playability, we'd say. A guy that would catch those long passes from Phillip Rivers. And so who knows? Derek Carr is not really the same kind of quarterback as Phillip Rivers, so who knows? But again, you're starting Williams just because of the fact that AB's gone now, and he's got to throw to someone. So so as we mentioned, for Denver, you're starting their defense. You're starting Joe Flacco. If it's a 2-quarterback league, you're starting Phillip Lindsay. You're starting Freeman as a flex. You're starting Sanders, and you're starting Courtland Sutton. You're sitting Noah Fant. For Oakland, you're starting Josh Jacobs and Jalen Richard. You're starting Darren Waller. You're starting Tyrell Williams, and you're sitting Derek Carr and Hunter. Say it, Garrett, because I can't pronounce this guy's name.
Hunter Renfrow.
Renfrow. Okay, so those are our starts and sits for this week. Thank you, guys.
Peace.